We're going to move the item that I moved up for the evening, which was for item number 9, action on 4 written petitions, Council Policy 030, submitted by Lee Brofman, Larry McCullough, Debbie Triforos, and Scott Filler, each requesting to place an agenda item on a future council meeting for council to discuss the behavior of Councilmember Park at the February 7th, 2023 council meeting. So I don't know who is online.
We've got Debbie Triforos and Scott Filler with their hands up right now.
Okay, so, all right. Debbie, go ahead, Debbie.
Sorry. Okay. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Debbie Triforos, and I'm speaking as a lifelong resident of Santa Clara. I will address the entire council as you are the people who will vote to hold Councilman Park accountable for his actions on the 7th of February. Councilman Park is an embarrassment to this city. He is condescending, rude, and undeserving of his position. Council members are held to a high standard, or they used to be in the city of Santa Clara. His actions on that date are not actions of a city representative, and they need to be acknowledged and appropriate action taken. I have to wonder if he hadn't been sitting in the mayor's chair that night, if he would have pulled the stunt he did. He waited until the end of a long council meeting, knowing very few citizens were still tuned in. His comments were directed to Kirk Vartan, as he was the only person in the chambers, and he was mentioned as special counsel to the mayor. This title really gets under the thin skins of Becker and Park. Your actions were egregious and inappropriate. You owe Kirk an apology and the residents that voted for you. As for the rest of the council members who were there that evening, you are complicit in his actions if you do not vote to put this item on an agenda. Now is your chance to show us that you are not a pact of 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott, go ahead, Scott.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. My name is Scott Filler. I'm a resident of Santa Clara since 2004, and I really love being here in Santa Clara. I'm here in support of my petition to place an agenda item on future council meeting to discuss Vice Mayor Park's behavior on the February 7th council meeting. I'd respectfully refer everybody to the episode 20 of Public Trust Review on YouTube for a video summary. I think it's easier for everybody to just watch it versus, hearing a third party explain what they saw. But basically from my side, I think, if this is the behavior that we're expecting from the city council when residents come forward to bring, issues forward that are important for them, it creates a chilling effect. And given this behavior that I've witnessed, I myself am worried, will I be the next person targeted or ridiculed, for bringing this request forward? So in a sense, I'm also speaking to the rest of the council. Is this the way that, you want to treat the residents who voted for you? Should the council not hold every person in, every member of the council to good government guidance principles, including treating everyone equitably and respectfully? So, what will the council do when council members blatantly go against this? That's what I'd like to hear and why I'm raising this petition. Thank you.
Thank you. Lee, go ahead, Lee.
Okay. This is Lee Brofman. I have brought the item forward after watching the videos and actually being at the meeting on the 7th. It was absolutely, I've never seen anything like it. Attacking citizens that come forward that I don't exactly agree with you. That's egregious behavior. And this time, I know I've come forward with things before, and somehow it just didn't get your attention. Please do something this time.
Thank you. Is that That's all online. Anyone here in the audience, please come forward if you'd like to speak.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have just the 2 videos to refresh on what this is in reference to, just so that people who didn't actually see it would be able to see it without any editing. One and then 2. These are the council feeds.
And I really like that. I also note that there were a lot of book events at elementary schools.
That's number 2. The first one's a short one. Thank you.
Should buzz. You should buzz. Thank you very much. Special advisor to the mayor. I feel very special.
And then the next one. Thank you, sir.
And I really like that. I also note that there were a lot of book events at elementary schools. And I see that the special advisor to the mayor is here. I really appreciated the thought that you put in to getting books for the council members. Well, not to the people in particular, but to the seats. And I found a book that I thought would entertain the position of special advisor to the mayor, both now and whoever may take the role in the future. It's a book it's originally called All My Friends Are Dead, but that seemed a little dark, so I changed it. I have all these Post-it notes. It says, all my friends are termed out. And I thought that this would be good. You see, it says, you know, it's kind of fun. It starts with all my friends are termed out. 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 Most of my friends are termed out. What? Oh, now all my friends are termed out. And all my friends are end tables. I mean, that's a tree talking. So I would like to keep this for the office of special advisor to the mayor. I don't know if there's no other reports. Then I'll take this to the city manager executive director reports. Tentative meeting agenda calendar, TMAC.
Thank you. And I left a little bit at the end to say the TMAC, because the TMAC is literally the last thing that goes on an agenda meeting, just so you can see when it was actually said. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, Councilmember Watanabe.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you for the petitions that have been filed. I have spoken about this issue previously, and so I just want to go ahead and make a motion for an action on the 4 written petitions submitted by Lee Brofman, Larry McCullough, Debbie Triforos, and Scott Filler, each requesting to place an agenda item on a future council meeting for council to discuss the behavior of Councilmember Park at the February 7th, 2023 council meeting.
Is there a second? Councilmember Jain?
Yeah, I sort of question the purpose of these requests to reprimand or censor. I'm looking at these requests and they said, I believe he should be reprimanded or censored. And somehow the council got broken when there was a censure request of Pat Kolstad and Patty Mahan, when they decided that they weren't going to appoint somebody to the city council in 2018. And as most people know, the meeting went late. And the council majority that night expressed their displeasure at what happened. In fact, I believe the city attorney expressed his displeasure that night, which I don't know why he did that. In any case, so that there was a vote, and that happened. And then there was an event that Councilmember Watanabe organized on Asian hate. And at that time, Kevin Park wanted to speak at that event, and he was denied. So then there was a 030 petition by Ms. Gupta to censure Kathy Watanabe and Lisa Gillmor, and admonish Lisa Gillmor. So what happened was there was a meeting on September 28th, and the vote to censure Councilmember Watanabe was 4-3. I was opposed to that censure. The vote for admonishing Mayor Gillmor was 4-3. I was opposed to that. And I thought, well, you know, we should not have this divisiveness on our council. Maybe my vote would increase some goodwill on the council. Well, that doesn't seem to have happened. You know, I continually greet Councilmember Watanabe when I see her. And in fact, this evening, before this council meeting, I was standing in the hallway with Councilmember Hardy and Gary Ferraris, and Councilmember Watanabe walked by. I said, "Hello, Kathy." She completely ignored me. And that is the sense of the rest of the majority of this council. That is how they are treated and have been treated for years by some of their fellow council members. So what happened was, before the censure vote of Councilmember Watanabe, she had a meeting with all the council members, and so I met with her. It's actually the only meeting that I've had with her. And I expressed that I felt that she didn't like me. You know what her response was? "Well, you never should have run against me."
Is this on this topic? May I just interrupt?
My point is that these censure votes don't do anything. It didn't change anyone's behavior. It's a waste of time. And that's why I don't believe that these exercises, there's no consequences. There were no consequences to the mayor and to Councilmember Watanabe when they were censured. They continued to act as they always had. So we can go through this exercise if we want to go through it, but I just don't see what will change. So,
Councilmember Becker?
Thank you, Mayor. So I won't be supporting this because, ironically, you know, when you think and you read the details, specific individuals that are behind this petition were involved with specific individuals on this council when they were running for office. It's a fact. And it seems to be like it consistently, over and over again, it's the same repetitive thing that if someone doesn't get their way, they send 3, 4, 5 people to file petitions because they didn't get their way. The thing is that, you know, I think Councilmember Jain summed it up perfectly. You know, there was things taken to basically try to improve people's behavior. It didn't help. It just made it worse. In fact, since we've been on this city council, consistently there's an agenda or a narrative to consistently try to get us off of this council, consistently try to accuse us of wrongdoing. And I know that someone mentioned that we do have thin skin, but I find it very funny because when we do correct the errors or the misjudgment or misinformation that individuals are providing us, they turn around and they say, "God, you have such a thin skin." Ain't it funny that it's kind of like nihilism, you know, like, hey, let's go say whatever we want. We don't care. We just want to destroy the nature of these meetings. And seeing that what happened since that, you know, censure, there's been incidences that have happened since then. Incidences that have happened that I was accused of bad behavior, physical, verbal behavior. And then funny thing, an HR report comes out and basically says, I didn't do any of that. So until we start holding other people responsible for their bad behavior, I don't see anything in this. Because frankly, Councilmember Park didn't even call out a specific name. He called out the special advisor to the mayor because it seems like that's a special role. And if you actually go on LinkedIn, it's a little surprised when you search that name and you find that connection that says special advisor to the mayor. So I know there's a lot of questions out there about that. But I can't support something because this is just continually politics over and over again since I have been elected. Consistently lying to grand juries about incidences that have happened, that we are in the pocket of the 49ers, things like this, these small, tiny little lies end up becoming giant lies that then we have to defend ourselves. And when we defend ourselves, you all tell us we have a thin skin. It's not the fact. That's not the fact. Seeing this petition is highly political. One of the members was the treasurer of the mayor at the last election. One of the members was a campaign manager for one of these council candidates. It's just, I find it very ironic that it comes in these pairs and that it comes so often when we don't agree. So I am not going to support this because I'm tired of the politics. I'm tired of the divisiveness, and I try to do everything on my part, and Councilmember Jain is right. I say hello to Councilmember Watanabe. I say hello to other people on this council, and I never get a hello back. I give a lot of credit to Mayor Gillmor. She does say hello to me. We may not agree, but we have a relationship where, good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Anthony. Simple, respectful relationship. And so I don't get that with Councilmember Watanabe, as Councilmember Jain mentioned. But moving forward, I just don't want to do this anymore. This is wasting our time. We are spending 20 minutes on an item because it's just a vendetta. So, I don't see me having 13, 14 people lining up here constantly writing petitions and wasting our council and staff's time on, let's go censure this person, let's do this to this person. I don't do that. It's just a waste of time, we're dividing our residents, we're dividing our people. And when I hear the comments that say, we aren't representing the people and we're attacking the people of our residents, it's not residents. These are not residents. These are political motives and political agents. And if you can't see that, then I suggest you start going to a poli-sci class and learn some history. So I am not going to support this motion just because it's just division. I'm tired of it, and our residents are tired of it. And frankly, I'm doing what I can to solve it, but I'm just tired of having to defend myself every day. Thank you.
I'll second the motion. Is there anyone else that wants to speak on this? Okay, well, there might be a high likelihood that this won't pass, so I'm going to make some comments because I haven't had a chance to make any. First of all, I would like to say, how would a reasonable person view the actions that took place? It wasn't just one meeting, it was actually 2 meetings. And it happened to be the 2 meetings I was out on medical leave, where Vice Mayor Park took over as the presiding officer of the city council. So it's important when you're sitting in the presiding officer's chair that you run the meeting in a fair and equitable manner, especially for the public, and that you give the public the opportunity to say what they have to say, whether you agree with them or not. I have sat here for many meetings where I have been nonstop attacked. One meeting, I was attacked for several hours, and you just have to sit there and be respectful and give everyone their right to speak and right to say what they have to say without attack. But when I saw Vice Mayor Park sitting in this chair, pulling a book out of this drawer and comparing it to a book for my special advisor, so there were attacks on me, the special advisor to the mayor, a children's book, All of Your Friends Are Dead, and putting Post-it notes on it saying all of your friends are termed out, and it was directed to the only member of the public that was sitting in the audience, who is my special advisor for worker co-ops, yes, and directing it to him and saying that all of your friends are termed out, all of your friends will be termed out, It was obviously premeditated. He took time to write on Post-it notes, put it in a very strange book of All of Your Friends Are Dead, and talk about it. So it was all done ahead of time, which is even more disturbing that this happened. Everybody on this council that was here that night, Councilmember Watanabe was also out on a medical emergency. Everybody that was here, the 5 members of the city council, I think Councilmember Jain was online, but still at the meeting, and the interim city attorney, Steve No, nobody said anything or did anything after hearing that. Some of you snickered, laughed, thought it was funny. Nobody said a word as this member of the public was being attacked in this very odd and disturbing way. So I looked at everybody as bystanders. So I looked up what the bystander syndrome is. A bystander feels they have less responsibility because there are others present who could also respond. Well, nobody responded. No one stepped in. No one condemned the actions of what he was doing. This wasn't a joke. This isn't a joke. This is no place to attack the public. And yes, these are members of the public, not political operatives or sneaky people or anything like that. These are public members that should be respected and listened to, not mocked, not made fun of, not taking your position of power sitting here and attacking members of the public. That's not what this chair or any of our chairs are for. This is not a way that we communicate our city's message to the public. This is a clear violation of our code of ethics and behavioral standards in this city. Clear. We're supposed to treat everyone equally and with respect. And that, Councilmember Vice Mayor Park, was neither respectful nor professional. Some people described it online as sitting there with a crowd of bullies. And then the next meeting, it happened again. And this time, Councilmember Becker doubled down, and he had a full attack on 2 of the public members that were sitting in the audience and reminded them that their friends are termed out. So, and everybody still sat here, nobody said anything, and it continued on. So the feedback I received from the community was relatively consistent. There is no place in any universe of any kind for this type of behavior. No place. It's disturbing, it's offensive, it's mortifying, it's a massive embarrassment to our city, and at the very least, Vice Mayor Park should never be able to sit and chair a meeting again after that. So I think this should be brought up, and I know probably won't be, but it should be brought up because this entire council group needs ethics training and behavioral standards training on how to treat the public. And based on what I heard, and actually I'm going to have to go back, I believe Vice Mayor or Councilmember Jain, I think you voted to censure me or not censure me, whatever, admonish me. I believe you did. But all I'm saying is they won't police themselves, but we need the training. And with that kind of, I don't know who can sit here, watch that video, let him pull out a book, read those things. Who could say that that's okay? Who in their right mind would think that that's okay to treat members of the public like that? It's wrong. So that's what I have to say about this. So Councilmember Becker, I'm not open for more attacks on the public.
No, it's not an attack. I agree with you. You know, we can't police ourselves. And frankly, if we can't police ourselves, you know, it comes down to this fact. Who's going to police Gillmor and Watanabe?
Okay, attack the council members, I guess, public to council members. It's painfully obvious that there needs to be training on this council, ethics training, behavioral standards, and how we relate to the public. So, City Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Watanabe.
Yes.
Councilmember Shahal.
No.
Councilmember Hardy.
No.
Vice Chair Park.
No.
Councilmember Jain.
No.
Councilmember Becker.
Nope.
Mayor Gillmor.
Yes, and that fails 5-2. All right. Next, we have